welcome to POSTGAME here, the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network. My name is Chris Williams, joined not joined by anybody. I'm not used to saying Brent Bloom's going to join me. He was with me earlier. Lost my mind here. Has anybody else been home with the kids for the last couple days and you're just starting to lose your mind? That's where I'm at right now. Iowa State with a dominant 66-42 win tonight over Oklahoma State. Again, dominant is the key word. The Cyclones were never challenged in this one. That's not true. The first 5 minutes of the game, Oklahoma State came out pretty good. But Iowa State with a really quality defensive performance, I thought, tonight. Just across the board, it's a good win because you're a 12-point favorite. You expect to win the game. You should win the game. But there was a lot of weird stuff that came with this game. It could have gone the other way, and I was a little concerned about it right at the start, just because you see these teams get galvanized by weird stuff happening. It happens all the time in sports, and like a coach gets fired, that type of thing. And Oklahoma State clearly was passionate coming off the bus, and Iowa State punched them in the mouth after they took that lead. So you want to see that. The other thing is, I'm a big picture guy. It's probably a flaw of mine where I have a hard time necessarily focusing on the now. However, I was really impressed, and it's a big deal, the fact that Iowa State won this game by as much as it did for the analytics and the net rankings. Margin of victory matters. You're 12-point favorite. You end up winning by 24. So that will be a good day for Iowa State as far as your KenPom rankings and all that good stuff when it comes to the NCAA tournament. Obviously, that's a long ways away, but it's stuff that I'm constantly paying attention to. Let's talk about this game. For the Cyclones, Tamin Lipsey led the way with 17. He also had 4 assists. I'll go to the standouts for me. And Hassan Ward, 6 of 9, 12 points, 5 rebounds in 18 minutes. He's completely changed his team. He's made him so much better defensively when he's out there, a true rim protector, and he's so efficient. It's a real game changer for Iowa State. I don't know how else to put it. I think he deserves a ton of credit. Really wish Iowa State would have had him earlier in the year down in Orlando. I think this could be a different situation right now, where you're looking at a top 25 Iowa State team. I think that they have a chance to be ranked on Monday. But I think Ward's a really big deal. I thought so at the time, especially what it does defensively for this team. The lobs. I mean, how many lobs has he got in the last 2 games? 5? I think he's gotten 5. How many lobs did Iowa State have in the last 2 years as a team? I don't think many. So, again, that's huge. Getting easy buckets, high efficiency buckets. I also like a guy who I just keep wanting to give credit to is Demarion Watson. He's being asked to do just play gross. He doesn't get many shots. He had a big block tonight. He had 4 rebounds in 9 minutes. He's playing really good defense. I think he deserves a ton of credit. Trey King with a really good game tonight, 11 points. He was 4 of 8, 7 rebounds. The Iowa State bigs are pretty damn good, and you can tell. We talk a lot now. What do you want to be in college basketball? You want to be old. You want to be nasty. You want to be these grown ass men is what we say a lot. And Iowa State has a bunch of guys like that. Just watching the end of this Baylor game right now, it looks like they're going to escape and beat Cincinnati if this thing holds on down the stretch. But again, you're supposed to win this. There's this blizzard, all this weird stuff. You come out and you're not sharp early. I thought Iowa State was kind of flat early, which we probably should have expected. Waiting around all day, you didn't know when you were going to play. It's just a hard deal for college athletes. And they responded really, very well. I haven't heard TJ's post game. I'm sure he's going to be very happy with the defensive performance. Again, Lipsey leads you with 17. He was great. What I love about it though is you're winning this game by 25 points or whatever, and you 3 of 15 from 3. There's not these gaudy statistics that go with it, but it's grinded out basketball. And you can grind it out with talented players, which Iowa State is able to do right now. That's a really, really big deal. So good win. Nothing to get, too overly amped up about, but I'm certainly really enthusiastic with what we saw here tonight for Iowa State. Looking forward to the rest of this Big 12 season, because if you watch these games today, this league, while they added these teams, it's still very much a league where anybody can beat anybody on a given day. And we saw that tonight with Texas going to, which we thought was the worst team in the league. Great win for West Virginia, right? So maybe that's not a gimme when they come to Hilton Coliseum. Central Florida beats Kansas this week. They lose at home to BYU the next game. This league is no longer a league where you play everybody evenly. However, it looks to be just as daunting after the first couple weeks. It is really incredible and somewhat terrifying. But, man, it felt good. I think this is a big deal to Iowa State, where it was a bad draw. You get your first 2 home games without students, and then you can't do anything about the weather, but it sucks because you've got, probably the second best home court advantage, depending on Kansas State, in the Big 12, and you're really unable to use it for the first couple of games, and you still come out with a couple of wins. So that you had to have that. You absolutely had to have it. And Iowa State gets out there 2-0. Very cool. Very happy. And I'm looking forward to looking at the analytics after this one, because I think Iowa State's numbers are about to, I don't know about skyrocket, because Oklahoma was so bad going into this. However, it's still a thing that the computers are going to love. And I'm guessing that the Iowa State men and women are both ranked on Monday. We'll talk about it all. We'll break it all down on Sunday night with Williams and Bloom. Appreciate Carl Chevrolet doing the post-game podcast here. But this is one of those games where there's not a lot to analyze because it was so good. And there's not a lot of storylines here because it was so dominant. Other than the first 5 minutes of this game, you knew exactly how it was going to finish. And Iowa State takes care of business and gets out of there with a 2-1 start to the Big 12, and everybody can chill out after last week's game at Oklahoma. So there you go. Cyclones win it 66-42. Iowa State is 2-1 in the Big 12, heading into another week of the Big 12 season. We'll break it all down for you tomorrow night, Sunday night, Williams and Bloom, here on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.